and she was complaining and going on about how they don't listen, they are disrespectful. But when I observed how she was relating with her teenagers, it was in a disrespecting way. Well, teenagers also require respect. I know you're going to say, they are my kids, they are just kids. Like in African society, we are brought up to think kids have no say. As long as you're living under someone's roof, you have no say. And so, because that's how we are brought up, we carry it to our kids. Forgetting times are changing. And because they are changing, guess what happens? These teenagers are more exposed. They know about what is right and what is wrong, as opposed to how we were. We didn't know about other families because there was nothing to educate us about that. And so we kept to our world where your father comes home and you just sit in a corner, speak only when spoken to. No one cares about how you feel. No one cares about how you are. But those days are way past, guys. People now are watching TV and they are connecting with other families. Before, it was your family, so you did it your way. And if a child grew up under your roof and how you are doing things is this way, where kids don't say anything, they are answerable to everything they are supposed to, they are just told what to do and they do. Gone are those days. Now they are learning from these social media platforms. Oh my God, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, all these other platforms are getting our kids there before us. So if we don't equip ourselves well, we may not be able to keep up. And so we will have broken families and broken homes simply because we have given up and we have failed to comply to the times that we live in. Remember, the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. I will not deviate so much from the Bible because this is digesting the Bible. And if it's matters of the heart, God has to be really close by, because love comes from God, and God is mentioned in the Bible, and the Bible is about him. So there is no way we can really keep him out. I hope that makes it clear as we continue to push on. I'll talk about the sudden silence. Your teenager was talking to you at some point, and the next minute they are not talking. Not that you've had a big fight or had a fight over anything, but they're just not talking. This is what we are going to talk about. And I would say, let's start right here. The moment silence begins. I hope that's a good one to start with. When kids hit the teenage age, some things change. We may want them to stay as our toddlers who would run to us. Oh, someone has beaten me. Someone has said this. Someone has kicked me. But those things change the moment they become teenagers. They used to chat about everything. What happened at school, their favorite cartoons, and what they ate for lunch. But somewhere around 12 and 13, 14, things changed. The words started drying up. And we all wonder, what happened to my teenager? I mean, we were okay 1 minute. We would joke about everything. We would chat about anything. Right now, it's like I'm the last person they want to talk to. Something changes. Before, they were talking to you about everything. When I say everything, cartoons, their favorite cartoons, and now they are not even into cartoons anymore. You don't even know what they are into, what is their favorite thing anymore on TV. You ask, how was school on Thursday? And they say, fine. You ask, anything new? No. And you start wondering, what happened to my child? Did I do something wrong? Because it's so easy for us to think we did something wrong. That's why our teenagers are acting the way they are doing. It is very easy for us to go on like that, thinking it's about us, thinking it's what we did, probably what we said, which is not normally the case. But because we are desperate to know what's going on with our teenagers, we tend to run to conclusion easily. Yeah. I hope today, by the end of this episode, you will have found out for yourself why teenagers stop talking, because that's the topic that we are handling today. At any time, your teenager can change, and guess what? You need to be prepared. That's what I said. That's why I said The topic of discussion today is emotional, it is sensitive, and it's an important topic for everyone. Parents out there, we are talking about why teens stop talking to their parents and how to reconnect. That is what we are talking about. It's a live podcast. You can go ahead and tune in and uh, share the link with anyone who's got teenagers that is struggling on parenting. We are dealing with why teenagers stop talking to their parents, and also we'll be looking at the ways on how to reconnect with our teenagers. Like I said, if you're a parent that is listening in right now and you've ever wondered why won't my teenager talk to me anymore, this is the right place for you. You're yet to find out why your teenager doesn't talk to you. Now, like I said, you ask, how was school? And your teenager says, fine. You ask anything new and they say no. And you start wondering, what happened to my child? That's where we were. So that was just a backtrack for those who have just joined. Did I do something wrong? Let me assure you, it's not always you. It's normal. It's a normal development stage in teenagers to stop talking to their parents. But normally we hit ourselves on the wall. My teenager is not talking anymore. You're in that lock of my toddler, where your kid would come from school and tell you everything from class. What happened at class, the food they ate, and the favorite cartoons. That lock has to loosen us so that we can be able to see our teenagers as young adults and be able to help them and grow with them and love them just as we should as parents. Like I was saying, they are figuring out who they are outside of the family bubble. When we give birth to children, we create this bubble that is safe for them, where they know mommy will always come to school and sort that one out for me. Daddy will always come and fight these people who are at the pitch who say bad things about me. We create a bubble that is safe for our teenagers. But then when they stop talking to us, we start questioning everything. Now that's what we are dealing with. And if you've got a teenager, someone who is looking to have children, this is your video, and trust me, you will not regret it. Like I said, the mistake that we make as parents, we often make as parents, is taking that distance that our teenagers give us personal. We see it as rejection. We think our teenagers are rejecting us. They don't like us anymore. They don't want us anymore. They don't want this family. And it's so easy to think that way, because all they do is lock themselves up. If they happen to have a room of their own, they lock themselves up. If they don't have a room of their own, they just stay quiet, find corners and just stick to their corners and not mingle. We think they are rejecting us. Well, that's not the case. You will get to realize, like I said, that brains for teenagers are like brains that are under construction. A house under construction is hard to keep away the dust. It is always dusty. Dust can erupt from anywhere because it's a building under construction. Now, same applies to the brains of teenagers. They are still brains under construction. 1 minute they are laughing, next minute they are crying, the next minute they are laughing again. So with that in mind, we learn how to deal with them. And like I said, we give up, like I said, we either try to chase them harder because they are going quiet on us, or we give up and go silent ourselves, which is very bad. We as parents have a part to play in the growing up of our children, and we should actually be the last people to give up. But guess what we do? We get our children, teenagers, put them in boarding school. I mean, that's our solution. And it sounds really, easy. It sounds relaxing. It gets things off your shoulder so you don't have to worry where they are, what they are doing, who they are talking to. It seems like a good solution to our teenagers being quiet. But guys, teenagers being quiet is part of the stage of development. And so we shouldn't push them away, taking it personal that they don't like us anymore. Well, they still do much, but they want to find their space in this big world. It's a live podcast. Let me know where you're watching from, who it is that is watching. And Let me know what you think of why teenagers stop talking to their parents. I wrote down a few points. You can go ahead and drop in the comment section yours, and together we can bottle, we can exchange opinions and also continue learning from each other. I would say reflectively, I would ask reflexively, how do you react when your teenager pulls away? How would you react when you find all of a sudden the teenager that was talking to you is not talking anymore? Do you push harder or pull back completely? I need to know in the comment section. When your teenager pulls away, how would you react? Would you push harder and try to get them to talk to you, or are you the type that completely pulls back completely and you leave them? Which kind of person are you? Drop in the comment section. Let me find out who you are, what kind of person you are. Why teens stop talking to their parents? That's the segment we are on. There are several deep reasons why teens stop talking to their parents, or they stop opening up. And let us go through a few. I know there are so many, but we'll just go through a few, because understanding the why will help us reconnect to the hows. Yeah, when we understand the hows, why our teenagers don't talk, I get to also understand the reason as to how we can help them. Now, the first reason I would say, the desire for independence. They stop talking to us because they desire to be independent. While your teen is under the age of 11, below 11, they are looking up to you for guidance. They want you to teach them everything because the world is new to them and they are excited to live. I don't know, but kids are kids and will always be kids. I would tell you, my kids used to see me as big and tall and all these things. But as they get older, they start realizing, okay, they are not the biggest. Okay, they are not the tallest. Okay, they are not this. But in the eyes of a toddler, one below 11 years, you could stand high as a mountain. And once they cross the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, things can change up, because then their eyes are open to reality. They leave the bubble and want to be independent. So the first reason why they stop talking is to be independent, make their own decisions, leave alone what I've been told. What is it that is the truth about what I've been told? They are trying to find out. They're trying to find out what is the truth out there. So they are breaking away, not because they don't love you anymore. They still do, but they want their independence. And independence doesn't mean they want to step out of the house. They want to start thinking for themselves, solving things for themselves. That is the independence I'm talking about. Another one is the digital escape. They get quiet because the era that we are in is a digital one, where kids can be locked on gadgets. Oh my goodness. They are on YouTube. They watch those shorts, like scrolling through, and they've literally seen everything. They don't care who they subscribe to. They are just scrolling through, watching YouTube. If they happen to be into TikTok, you're finished, because they will go through everything, and anything you watch more of, they'll binge you on it. So guys, it is the digital escape. That is where they go to be. They stay away they stop talking so that they can, go to their gadgets. Not because you've done anything, but it's the digital escape, that era where we are using gadgets so much. Another reason is the past reactions. If in the past your teenager was talking to you and the way you responded was not positive, trust me, they would lock up and not talk anymore. I was talking to another lady just recently who told me she was wondering if I have given phones to my children. And I was like, they need them for school. I mean, the moment she's in high school or he is in high school, it's paramount that they have a gadget for research purposes. So you cannot keep them in that bubble where you want them only to watch TV and they only, get to handle a gadget when they are using yours. They now have friends. They have groups at school, discussion groups that they need to be on. So you cannot control them that way. But some of us as parents, we stay in that lock where we want things done the way they happen to us. So I hope we can also learn from that bit and you know, loosen them a bit. If, for example, your teenager came to you at some point and said, Mommy, can I have a phone? You know, and you refused because you thought they are too young to have a phone. Well, those are the days when having a gadget had an age. Right now, you find my 6-year-old, my goodness, I bought her, one of those fake phones, fake tabs that they sell. Our Chinese friends have sent us so many things in Uganda. It's like a big box, plastic box. They put on a sticker and they put in batteries. The moment you press power, the thing just sings in even a Chinese accent and Chinese tunes. And I brought it to her. I thought she would be excited. Oh, I got a tab. Oh, I got a tab. My goodness, she got it, looked at it critically and threw it away and said, I don't like this. This is not real. I don't like it. And that was the last time she touched it. Not even playing. That was the last time. But I didn't do it at 6 years. I did it at 4. I think it was about 4 or 3. That goes to, actually she was about 3, yeah, to be honest. But if at 3 she could tell apart a real tab from a fake one and threw away my box that had stickers of pictures of Moana and all these other characters, well, teenagers are worse. They have grown. They've been collecting for all these years up to the teenage age, which is maybe 13, 14, 12. They've been collecting. Now it's time to sieve and see for themselves what really goes on when this happens. So they are trying to find things for themselves. Now, if in the past they came to you about something and you reacted in a bad way or a hard way, they will hold back. So that will explain to you why your teenager is not talking to you, because of past reaction. Now, the other thing is fear of judgment. Teenagers are also scared. Many teens stop talking because they feel their parents will criticize them for what they will say. So they stop talking, as in, how could you think that? Like your teenager comes to you and says, I want a dead year. Yeah, I want a dead year. I don't want to go to school next year. And you're like, then how in the world? Well, when I finish senior 4, I don't want to go to school. I want to take a dead year and go back after. The way you react will either keep that person in school or keep them out of school. I could stay in school, not because I love school, but because you told me to be in school. And guess what? When I'm in school, I do all kinds of things that are not connected to school, simply because I'm in a place I don't want to be. And if I told you, you would not listen. So teenagers react because of the fear of judgment or criticizing them, or they know you will be standing to correct or overreact. Things like that keep them silent, the fear of judgment. An example, there's a teen mom who came to her mom and said, Mom, I failed my math test. Now, listen to how the mother reacted. How could you? You never study enough. I told you to stop watching TV, but you're always watching TV. Now, that's a teenager approaching the mom and letting them know about their performance here at school. Remember, when they are doing, with the new curriculum, it's confusing. They have activities of integration where they are submitted every week. Every topic is handled, and then they give them an activity that they do and submit to UNEB. Now, a teenager would keep quiet and not let you know how they did perform. And they have ways of confusing parents. I remember there's a parent with this new grading in Uganda whose child got C, and then D, and E, I think E or something. And the mom was over the moon. She thought that those were the best grades. When you put the points together, she had got really few points, but the mom thought that is grading the kid had really done well. Because we don't understand the new curriculum, it is so easy for these teenagers to play with us. But if we equip ourselves and also allow them to take us through their world. Because if you didn't pass mathematics, surely how would you want your teenager to do so well beyond how you ever did? we need to be realistic when we are dealing with them. Sometimes we want to live through them, and it's only human that I didn't make it to becoming a doctor, so I want my child to become one. But they will become frustrated doctors, not because of anything, but because we pushed them into becoming what they didn't want. So the mother told the child, I told you, stop watching TV. You're always watching TV. Now, in that moment, the parent's intention was correct, but the teen's takeaway was, it's not safe to tell mom when I fell. So next time they hide it from you. I know I had my sister when we were in school, and mom used to overblow things. I mean, if you perform well, they would throw literally a party for you. You would order for anything you want and get it right there. And then just as you have just come from school, some of these things sound small, but it's big in a younger person's mind. So if you perform well, our mom would order for you whatever you want and some drinks, and you eat and you're all happy, and then you'd be showered that whole week with presents. So my sister didn't do so well. And in a class of about 98 people, she was the 97, I think in a class of about 98 people, she was about the 83rd person, 82nd. And she went to her friends, they put white out on the report and wrote 03. So my mom was over the moon. My kid was the third and was excited, wanted to show the report to her friends. So we helped. When we looked at the report and saw, we're like, there's no way you could be the third with these marks. But our mom was excited because she went on and changed everything, and the comments were not flowing with the marks, the comments from these different teachers and subjects. So when we got to find out, we blackmailed her and we said, if you don't wash my dishes when it's my turn, I'm telling. But my mom was excited and wanted to show the report card to her friends. So we're like, hide your report. When she asks for it, you say, I don't know where it is. Because the friends may not be as blind as she was the day she picked us. Probably she was tired and didn't see clearly. So if we are so strict on our children, they'll start hiding from us things. They start not telling us because we were so hard when they came open to us and said, I didn't do well. And your reaction determines whether you'd ever get to see a report card again. Do you know there are some parents, once teenagers go to high school, especially now with a new curriculum, apparently they are supposed to do exams on the end of year. But guess what? They are doing every term, mid-term, end of term. Now, because as per the government, it's end of year, but schools are putting mid-term and end term, you would never see those reports. They would help you stick to the end of term simply because you are not the kind of person they can openly come to and be like, I failed because of how you would react. So next time they would hide. Now, reasons to feeling misunderstood. The second reason why the other reason why they would go quiet and stop talking to their parents is fear, or the feeling of being misunderstood. Teens often say,